Have you ever noticed how your first financial win feels huge, and then somehow your life looks exactly the same 3 months later? Your first decent paycheck, your first bonus, your first promotion, your first year where you finally think, okay, now I'm doing fine. And yet your stress level doesn't really drop. Your bank balance still feels fragile, and money still takes up way too much mental space. That's not because you did something wrong. It's because your first financial win almost never changes the system you're living inside. Let's make this concrete. Imagine a fairly normal situation in the US or Europe. You're in your mid-20s or early 30s. You have a degree or a marketable skill. You're working full-time. You're not reckless, but you're not wealthy either. Let's say you earn $65,000 a year in the US. After federal tax, state tax, payroll tax, health insurance, what actually hits your account might be closer to $3,800 a month. In parts of Europe, the numbers change, but the feeling doesn't. Higher taxes, stronger safety nets, yet the same quiet pressure. Now let's subtract reality. Rent or mortgage, $1,400. Car payment or transport costs, $400. Insurance, phone, utilities, internet, $350. Groceries and basic living, $500. Student loans or lingering debt, $300. We haven't added anything fancy yet. No vacations, no emergencies. You're already down to roughly $850. This is the part where your first financial win usually shows up. You get a raise. Your income jumps by $500 a month, and for about 6 weeks, life feels lighter. Then, something subtle happens. You upgrade the apartment just a bit. You lease a slightly better car because you earned it. You eat out more often because you're busy now. You stop watching your account every week because you're finally past that phase. None of these decisions feel irresponsible. Each one feels reasonable in isolation, but together they rebuild your financial pressure at a higher level. This is the hidden mistake most people never see. They treat income growth as relief, instead of asking whether their financial structure changed at all. Here's the simple math most people skip. If your expenses rise by $450 when your income rises by $500, your financial margin improved by $50. $50. That's not progress. That's fragility with better branding. And this is why making more money doesn't fix financial stress. Because stress doesn't come from how much you earn. It comes from how much room you have to absorb reality. Now let's talk about why this keeps happening. This isn't about discipline, it's about psychology. Your brain is wired to normalize whatever level of comfort you reach. The first win feels emotional because it breaks scarcity. But once scarcity fades, your mind immediately looks for stability, identity, and reward. You don't say, I should protect this margin. You say, this is my new normal. And the world is very good at helping you spend your new normal. Better housing, better experiences, better expectations from others and from yourself. None of this is evil, but it's automatic. That's why isolated financial wins rarely compound. They get absorbed. Now let's zoom out. Imagine this pattern repeats 5 times over 10 years. Each raise, each job switch, each income jump. If every increase mostly turns into lifestyle expansion, here's what you end up with. A decent income, a decent life, very little flexibility, and constant low-grade financial anxiety. You're not failing, but you're also not free. One layoff hurts. One medical bill disrupts everything. One bad year forces debt back into the picture. This is what happens when financial progress stays linear instead of structural. Now let's flip the perspective. Financially intelligent people don't feel smarter than others. They just ask different questions. They don't ask, what can I afford now? They ask, what changed in my system? When their income rises, they don't rush to upgrade life. They slow down. They let the raise exist without immediately giving it a job. Because the second, third, fourth, and fifth wins only matter if they stack. The first win proves you can earn. The second gives you breathing room. The third creates options. The fourth buys resilience. The fifth quietly changes your identity, not emotionally, structurally. Here's what compounding actually looks like in real life. It's not a spreadsheet fantasy. It's noticing that your fixed costs stayed flat for 3 years while income rose. It's realizing your savings rate went from accidental to intentional. It's discovering that stress fades not because money increased, but because fragility decreased. At that point, money stops being dramatic. You don't feel rich, you feel stable. And stability does something powerful to your thinking. You negotiate better. You change jobs without panic. You wait instead of react. You stop chasing upgrades that don't actually improve your life. This is why the fifth win changes everything, because by then, your system is working with you instead of against you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't poor because they don't earn enough. They're stressed because every win resets the race instead of ending it. And once you see that, once you understand that money doesn't reduce stress unless it builds margin, you stop feeling guilty and start feeling clear. No hype, no fear, no urgency, just awareness. If this shifted how you think about money even slightly, you'll probably enjoy what comes next. You can subscribe if you want, or don't. Either way, you're already thinking more clearly than before. And that's where real financial progress actually starts.